As a Pirates fan, I haven't had much to cheer about in the MLB since our playoff run in 2013. The good news though is that this season I get to watch Paul Skeens throw missiles at the plate at over 100 miles an hour. That is, of course, until the Dodgers give him $70 million a year to go win a World Series. For now though, I'm just enjoying it while it lasts. But this all made me want to get the Platinum Trophy for MLB The Show 26. This game has 26 trophies, which all looked pretty doable, and given that it came out during my spring break, I knew that I'd be able to have some fun and get the Platinum for it. So as I waited for it to download, I decided to play a game in demo mode so that I could start to get used to the controls. I also made the decision to start out in competitive mode on Hall of Fame difficulty, which turned out to be a mistake. So just ignore the scoreboard for a little bit. It didn't seem to be an issue early on though, as in the first inning we got our first trophy called Who's the New Kid, which was for striking out Vlad Guerrero Jr., who was on the cover of the show in 2024. I also got the Swing Batter trophy for taking my first hack with Shohei and threw out a man at the plate for defensive runs saved. I started to notice there might be an issue in the third when I was down 7-2 and got struck out looking for the Are You Still There trophy. I thought I was finding my groove though, as I caught 5 fly balls for the Can of Corn trophy and drew a walk for the Patience is Golden trophy. But unfortunately, I still found myself down 12-3 heading into the bottom of the ninth. Fortunately though, it looked like somehow someone went into the sliders and set the game to beginner, which led to us not only starting to string together some hits, but also earned us the start of something, Don't Call It a Rally, and Rally Cap trophies for getting 3, 5, and 7 hits in a single inning where we were trailing. Just like magic, Kyle Tucker was able to draw us level at 12 with a 3-run homer, which brought up to the plate Will Smith. And with 2 outs left in the bottom of the ninth, Will Smith did what Will Smith does best, as he slapped that ball deep into left field, and we won the game with a final score of 13-12. The full game then finally finished installing, which meant that we were able to play all the different game modes, and I wanted to start with Road to the Show, which is where you create a player and play through high school and college and get drafted into the pros. After spending a bit of time in the edit tab, which has way too many options, I came out with something that looks vaguely like me and got started. I got to choose my dream school, and because my schools of Penn State and Indiana weren't options, I decided to go with the University of Virginia for no reason other than Stephen Schoch's interview from a few years ago.
Wait, damn, Dippin' Dots sound good.
Our goal for this mode was to play well enough through college to be the first pick in the draft for a trophy. I also chose the Pirates as my favorite team, as they were probably going to have a pick near first overall anyway. After cruising through high school and winning our state championship, I also earned the I Don't Need It trophy for having 50 show tokens at once. I then got to commit to the Virginia Cavaliers, and after getting taken by the Pirates with the 5th pick of the draft, decided that it was time to play through college to increase my draft stock. We then got thrown in at the start of the NCAA World Series, where we were basically unstoppable in these orange pinstripe jerseys, and after rolling through the tournament, found ourselves up against UCLA for the national championship. Against the Bruins, we not only got to show off our defense, but also went 5 for 5 at the plate, as we would finish the game with a final score of 9-7 to win the national championship. After celebrating the win, it was time for the draft, where we were once again taken by the Pirates, but this time at first overall to complete our college goals and earn 2 trophies for being picked at number 1. This wasn't the end of our road to the show though, as we still had a few trophies to earn in this mode and had to start off in the minor leagues. The good news though is that we were absolutely crushing it in AA and were spending time getting better in the batting cages. And after completing this minigame with a gold rating, earned the Going Gold trophy. As I waited to get called up, I should have been thrown out by a mile on the sacrifice fly, but the swim move prompt popped up and I was able to hit it successfully for down low, too slow. Not long after, we got the call up to AAA, and after dominating there with a grand slam or two, we were quickly moved up to the active roster for the Pirates. In my first start, we tried to be like Starling Marte, who homered on the first pitch he ever saw in the big leagues, which was against the Astros, but instead, we were only able to get a double. A few games later, against the Braves, Brett Wisely tried to get a steal, but we tagged him out for a 2-6 putout and the Show 2-6 trophy. The last road to the Show trophy we needed was called Suit Up and was for having a piece of equipment in every slot. Fortunately, I had been opening up the packages of gear that they were giving us as we played, and after using my new Major League salary to buy the rest of the pieces we needed, we looked pretty stylish as we earned the trophy. With the Road to the Show game mode finished, it was now time to move to the storylines, which followed players from the Negro Leagues and some of their highlights, which are narrated by Bob Kendrick. Now, as someone who's been invited to a cookout or two in my day, this made it easy for me to get the robbery trophy, which was for robbing a home run with George Mule Suttles. My other favorite moment was making a diving over-the-shoulder catch with Pop Lloyd. After getting a few more hits, making a few more defensive plays, and getting a few strikeouts with Mamie Peanut Johnson, I had completed all 4 storylines for MLB Historian 26. The Storylines game mode also gave me the diamond cards of the players I used, which would be helpful in the Diamond Dynasty game mode, which is the show's version of Ultimate Team. This game mode has 2 trophies, and both are tied to Diamond Quest, which is a game mode within Diamond Dynasty that has you roll dice to move around a board and complete challenges to earn rewards for your team. The end goal is to make it to the stadiums at the end of the board and beat one or both to maximize the rewards you earn. There's also an enemy on the board called the Zone Sweeper, and if you run into him, you're forced to play him in a 3-inning game on Legendary, which probably wouldn't have been a good matchup for me. Luckily, I found this board, which has a layout that makes him easy to avoid, so I could just do the challenges. After finding the coach's cart, I was able to use the peanuts that I had gathered from beating challenges to buy 2 perks for the Flesh Trophy. Then, after winning a stadium game and completing my quest with a little help from my center fielder Jacob Marcy, who made this diving catch, we earned the Gone Questing Trophy. That was all there was to do in Diamond Dynasty, and the only game mode specific trophy left was in franchise mode, which I of course used the Pirates and Paul Skeens for, and after moving Skeens to the bullpen and setting him as a starter from there, I earned the Horses in the Pen trophy. With just 4 trophies to go before the Platinum, I was able to get all of them in some version of Play Now, which meant that I would be using only the Pirates from here on out. I started by scoring with Spencer Horwitz as a pinch runner with less than 26 speed for a trophy called You're Sure They Meant Me? I then downloaded Costco headquarters as a user-created stadium, not just so that I could buy cheap hot dogs and croissants in bulk, but also for the This Is My Home trophy. I then got ready to earn the Baseball is Better Together trophy, which is for playing a co-op game, and because I don't have a second controller, that meant that I would need to pair up with someone and play a 2v2 online match. Fortunately, I found a friend named SandwichMac22 who had already gotten the trophy but was kind enough to help me get it. And after choosing the Pirates as our team, we would be going up against the Dodgers. The trophy popped right at the start of the game, but rather than quitting out, it was time to test and see if my skills had improved. After a leadoff single, I thought things were looking good to start, but our opponents got 3 straight outs and made me even more nervous as they got a leadoff double and soon grabbed an early lead in the first. It then took us to the 4th inning to get much of anything going on offense, but once we got started, the floodgates opened as Nick Gonzalez hit an RBI double to tie the game up at 1, and a Jared Triolo single gave us a 2-1 lead with runners at the corners. Then, with 2 outs, Spencer Horwitz didn't need to use his speed this time, but instead his power, as he launched a 3-run shot deep to right center field, and just like that, we had a 5-1 lead. It wasn't time to relax yet though, as in the 6th inning with a man on, Max Muncy hit his own 2-run blast to cut our lead in half. I then made a huge mistake, leaving a sweeper right over the center of the plate, which Freddie Freeman absolutely crushed and belted yet another homer to right center, which made our lead only 1. We then found ourselves in a 2-on, no-out jam in the 8th, and watched our once 4-run lead slip away as the sac fly tied the game up at 5. Luckily though, our opponent tried to bunt with Andy Pajes, and we somehow got out of the inning, giving up just 1. I then got even more nervous as we quickly got to 2 outs in the top of the 9th, but fortunately Brian Reynolds was able to keep our inning alive with a double. Sandwich Mac 22 then came in clutch with a single straight up the middle to bring Reynolds home and give us a 6-5 lead. I didn't feel comfortable yet though, as up walked Marcell Ozuna, who launched an absolute rocket to dead center, which gave us an 8-5 lead as we entered the bottom of the 9th. Despite a leadoff double, we were quickly able to bring the Dodgers to their final out, where Freddie Freeman hit one to first, but the throw home wasn't in time. With Kyle Tucker as the tying run at the plate, Freddie Freeman got aggressive and not only stole second, but tried to steal third as well, which led to a bit of a rundown where he was tagged out barely off of second, and just like that, we had won with a final score of 8-6. Once again, thanks to my partner, Sandwich Mac 22, and good game to both of my opponents. With just 1 trophy left, all that was left to do was to set the game to GOAT difficulty and work on either striking out a batter or getting a hit. The good news is that this didn't take long, as with Paul Skeens at the mound, I threw a fastball that was absolutely pristine and struck out Jackson Tridio as it just barely nipped the edge of the strike zone, and the Platinum Trophy was ours. Even though I'm not super hopeful about the Pirates this season, and I'm really disappointed that we didn't re-sign Andrew McCutchen for his final season, baseball will always remind me of taking a day and going to watch a game with my dad. Couple that with me getting to play this game over my spring break, even though it'll probably take a few extra days for me to edit this video, and it makes for a really fun Platinum that I'm glad I got. Let me know what MLB team you're a fan of and what game I should try to Platinum next. If you could like and subscribe too, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.